First of all, I'd like to extend a warm welcome to each one of you as we gather to celebrate International Women's Day here at EFL office. Today we have a very, very distinguished guest sitting with us who would be, doing a chat show for us along with our MD and CEO, Shilpa ma'am. So I'd like to introduce our guest. Dr. Sharda Bapat's life is a powerful example of perseverance, passion and the belief that it's never too late to pursue your dreams. Her story is a testament to the power of reinvention, no matter the stage of life. And that resonates with our today's topic, I'm Unstoppable. Thank you, ma'ams. We'll start the chat soon.
Good afternoon. Wish you all a very happy Women's Day. This is one day which is there for us, right? And we try and celebrate it in a different manner. And this time the idea was to speak to someone else also and try and understand a very different perspective. Of course, Dr. Bapat she has a very diverse experience. She is definitely done so many different things in her life. And when we were discussing that what should we do, so I said I would want to this. And pardon me, I'm doing it for the first time. I'm conducting this for the first time. But I hope we should be able to speak to her. I'll try and make it a bit informal. I know some of the struggles which we all go through. As working women, especially when we try to balance it out between everything, all the other responsibilities, family, kids, career, of course, and all that. So I'll try and make it a bit informal. Let's start, right? So, welcome, Dr. Bapat.
Thank you so much.
First of all, I want to start with a bit different question. Typically in any Indian family, generally the girl child is sometimes she has a very structured way of bringing her up. So it is structured in a way there are certain expectations from her, and of course the expectations are around family, our expectations are around career and everything. So you have done so many different things in your life. So how did you get into breaking it all up?
I should give that credit to my parents because I had a older brother and he was my role model when I was a child, and so I became tomboyish going after him, doing all the things that he used to do. But my parents never stopped me from doing anything. Because I was a girl, they never said that you shouldn't do this or you shouldn't do that. In fact, my father encouraged me to go for horse riding, stuff like that. So it never crossed my mind that because I am a girl, I am incapable of doing any particular thing. So that helped me a lot and gave me a lot of confidence, I think.
But there was no typical expectation or no stereotype kind of a thing?
No, until I got married, I had never had a whip of these things, really.
Wonderful. That's great. So starting with that, if you can just briefly describe the early life and basically the early career choices which you did, and the special one when you decided to get into medicine at the age of 35. So can you get into a bit of the details on that?
Yes. I was never an ambitious person. I am a curious type rather than ambitious. So I used to love to do things, learn new skills and enjoy for the short term. So never had a career goal or a long-term destination kind of thing. And I used to love to do extracurricular activities. So after 11th science, I realized that everybody is going to push me for study in the 12th standard. So I decided to shift to art stream after 11th science. And after graduating, I did a diploma in computer applications and I really did well in that. So after finishing the course, I started doing data processing for the banks. because the banks were not computerized at that time. This is in 1989. So they used to outsource data processing work. So I started doing that. Then I got married, had a baby. In the meanwhile, the banks actually got computerized and the flow of work was reducing. And suddenly at that time, I got another opportunity and I became a partner in a trading firm. We used to deal in electronic safety devices such as semiconductors and fuse gears. And to help with business, I also enrolled for the Bachelor of Laws degrees because I thought that it would help me with taxation and administrative work. So, and it did help me. So I did my LLB then. And all this while actually my mother was becoming increasingly sick. When I was in 7th or 8th standard, she started having some health issues. And as the years went by, the severity and frequency of her health issues increased. So we really started worrying about her health, and we saw a lot of specialists, but nobody was really able to help her. So out of curiosity, I started reading about her diagnosis and the treatment and trying to understand what was going wrong with her health and the treatment. But medical science is complex, as you know, and it was not satisfactory. So in 2001, I decided that I will formally study medicine. So,
and I think that was also very difficult because it is not easy at that stage or at that age, especially in terms of getting admissions. And you all know that admissions to medicine are not easy. So please tell us about that.
Actually, getting information was the most difficult part because no one had done it before. So no one knew whether it is even possible to do it at that age. So I started to make inquiries and I got all the wrong information in the first place. Then I refused to believe it, and then I went back again for the information and tried to contact higher authorities from where I can get authentic information. So finally I got to know from the director of the Maharashtra Secondary and Higher Secondary Board of Education that I would be able to appear for the 12th science again with a limited subjects, because I had appeared for 12th arts before. So now you can appear for the same subject also, I think, and better your performance. But at that time in 2001, that facility was not available. So then I realized that it is possible to do 12th science, and then according to Medical Council of India.
What was your age at that time? When you
I was 36 already.
36.
So then the director told me that you have to get admitted to some college to do the science practicals, because it's not like art stream that can be done from outside. So I tried to get into my college, SP college, from where I had done my graduation, but they refused to admit me. And they refused.
What was the reason they gave?
They just didn't know that such a thing could exist. So they said, we don't know anything about this and you can't get admitted. And there is nothing called limited subject 12th boards. So then I went to my school, Huzur Paga on Lakshmi Road. There actually one of the nurses had done her 12th later in life. So the office staff knew how to do it. And there is a procedure and a special category for that. So the principal there said that if your case is fitting in the rules, we will admit you. So then I went and inquired about the procedure in the office, and one of the office staff knew everything. So she explained it to me and I got admitted in Huzur Paga and was able to do 12th science.
And after 12th science, the most the difficult part,
yes,
admission. So that how was that? That must be really.
Yes, at that time there was MHCET, that was the entrance exam for medicine. So I started preparing for that, but then I realized that if they refuse admission after I finish my 12th due to my age, what will I do? So I contacted the Dean of BJ Medical and asked him whether there is an upper age limit for my for the medical admission. So he said no one has asked this question to me before, so I have no idea. I'll have to inquire. So I followed it up, but didn't get any answer as usual. So then I went to meet him and told him that unless I get the answer, I'm not budging from here. So then he called a few people and told me that there is no mention of upper age limit anywhere in the MCI guidelines. So, but you have a child and you have a business and you have family responsibilities. So I would advise you not to go for it, because even young people find this course very hard. So it's not a good idea, he said. So but then I got to know that legally no one can stop me.
Yeah.
And then I started inquiring in the medical colleges whether they will admit me as a student. But I got a very disappointing response. None of them were even ready to consider my case. So because of the age. So, but luckily, my office was on Bajirao Road, and a new medical college started in Wadia Hospital premises. And it was a foreign collaboration, and its advertisement was in the papers, and my mother showed it to me, and it was right in front of my office, so I went there running. And there also, actually, because of my age, they refused admission in the beginning. But then I explained to the relationship manager there what was my outlook, and then she got intrigued and she said, I'll arrange a meeting with the CEO and you talk to him. So then I met Mr. David Pillai and I explained to him why I wanted to do it. And he was quite impressed actually. And he said, if your case is within the rule framework, then we will definitely admit you. And he also told me about all the formalities that I'll have to go through. So then he said that you can come back and meet me after you pass your boards.
Okay.
So that's how my seat in the medical college was reserved.
Wonderful. So you can, all of us can actually understand one thing from this is she's really unstoppable, right? Whatever difficulties, because everyone told her that at your age, and I don't know why age should be a deterrent for anything, but at your age you can't do this and all that, but she never took a no for an answer, right? But I'm just curious about one thing. In my childhood, I have read about Dr. Albert Schweitzer.
Yes.
Did you know about him by that time when you decided to go for medical?
I don't remember whether I knew about him, but now I know about him.
Yeah. So it's a wonderful story. If anyone of you is into reading, should definitely read about it. It's Dr. Albert Schweitzer was a German doctor, and he was a professor of philosophy, and he was a very renowned professor of philosophy. But in his younger days itself, he had decided that up to a certain age, I'm going to do all these activities. He was like you. He was organ player. Ma'am is pianist. But I think all these hobbies maybe get aligned somewhere. But he was a great organ player. He had written books on philosophy and organ and all that. But he had set one limit for himself, that and for a certain, I think till 35, he will work in all these areas, and later on he wanted to do something for the society, for the larger good of the society. So he also got, and he decided that he wanted to do something for people of Africa. See, German guy, Germany, and very well settled, very respected, renowned professor. And sorry, I'm just taking some of time because it was a very favorite subject of mine in younger days. So, and he decided that he wanted to open a hospital in Africa. So he also got admitted for the medical studies at the age of almost 35, 36, similar.
Yes.
So I think it is and he completed that, and also after that I think for almost 40-45 years he worked in Africa.
Yes.
So it's a wonderful story, all of you should read about it. Sorry, coming back to you,
Yes.
But you had not heard about him, so that example you could have given.
No, I was so caught up with my curiosity that nothing else mattered
else
at that time.
But the curiosity when you say, had you read about medical subjects earlier?
Yes, I tried to read about it, but it's a very complex subject. Especially, my mother was suffering from myriad illnesses. One of them was endocrinological, and it's a very complex subject. Unless you know biochemistry and physiology, you cannot understand endocrinology. So, it is impossible to understand medicine from online courses or anything like that, and it was in 2001, so the internet was not so well established by that time. So the only way of understanding medical field was to get formally into a medical school. So
and when you got this admission, how old was your son?
my son was in 5th standard.
Fifth standard. So
he was,
that time you didn't think twice that how will you balance it out, and looking after your son and also family and all other commitments, responsibilities. That was not something which you thought about?
No, I thought about it and I planned it in advance. I tried to set up my home so that I can be absent for the whole day. And I taught my son self-study. So I planned for everything that I did. So because once you know that you're going to do something in future, then you have some time to make it as less troublesome for others as you can.
But was there resistance from your family?
Yes, everywhere, because it was craziness, and I understood that it was craziness. So in the beginning there was resistance from everyone. Even my husband and I fought for at least 1 month. And ultimately he could see that I am bent on doing it. So after that he supported me. But in the beginning he was also very angry and frustrated with my decision, and he was saying that it is madness. It's a 7-year-long project.
For young people also, it is a very difficult course, and of course very, very long course. You need a lot of dedication, commitment, everything to complete medical as a course. Yes. So resistance apart, when everyone knew that you are definitely going to do it, you could get that support from the family.
Later on I got support from my husband also. And my son was pretty young to understand all this. But when he passed his board's 10th, I was in the Philippines. So that time his prelim results was disastrous.
Oh.
And that time we got on a call, and then I said to him that your career is more important to me than finishing this course. So I think I will come back. With this result, I am really afraid for you. So, but that time he felt guilty because he had seen how much hard work I have done for 4-5 years, and I was at the last leg of my MBBS course at that time. So he said, don't come back, you finish your course and I'll study. He promised me. And he did study and did fairly well in his board's exams.
Wonderful. But when you had to, because that is again one very difficult turning point in your career, that you had to go to Philippines to study, because the entire study couldn't be completed here in India. So at that time, how old was your son?
He was in 8th standard when I left for Philippines, and when I came back, he had already passed his boards.
Okay, so there are a lot of examples, girls, and we have seen women taking a lot of pressure of their kids' studies. And you all must be having, because I have seen such examples that not only with us but in our other group companies also, that girls, they have to leave their careers, and there is so much of social pressure because your son or your kid is into 10th standard or whatever, and that is supposed to be the most important point in your kid's life maybe at that time, and women just let go at that time, and that is a very difficult thing because by that time they have put in so much in terms of their career, and leaving career at that time or just deciding to just let go at that time, I think we can draw a lot of maybe learning from this, that the way she managed it to go to Philippines when her son was in 8th standard. So at that time, did you have any doubt in your mind that should you go, because that is such an important thing?
No, I was quite sure that I was doing the right thing. Actually, I got mostly from women, the response that I got when I decided to go to Philippines was of giving guilt, you know. You're leaving your son. How will your husband and son live alone here? And I said to them, they are two of them, and they are there for each other, and I am the one who is going to an unknown country alone. So what are you saying? I said. So, and by that, actually, to share with you, my absence has helped my son become independent. He is absolutely self-reliant and independent, and I'm very proud of it. Because we tend to pamper our children and make them useless, you know. we need to make them do things for themselves and others. That's the way of bringing up children. And our generation has made a mistake of making their children dependent on them. So I tell my son and my daughter-in-law that please make him do things for himself and others as well. My grandson.
So just to make our kids self-reliant, make them independent, and that also early on. If you keep on studying with them, and that I've seen happening not only here in EFL but in the family, in extended family also, that there is so much of pressure of studies of kids that you become a student once again. You yourself, you try to learn everything so that you can teach your kid. So this was one I think very important learning from ma'am's life, right? One more very interesting thing you did there when you were in Philippines. It was she became a pilot. And that also, because what I know from her earlier interaction is she thought she has time. So wasn't the studies, the medical studies itself too much for you, and you decided to go for one more learning of becoming a pilot?
Actually, medical studies were never a problem because I was so curious that it was like opening of a new world to me. So I enjoyed the studies. It never tired me out. Every new subject brought something wonderful to me. And in the first year of my stay in the Philippines, we had weekends off. And the rest of the students were half my age. So they used to do other things, and I used to be lonely on weekends. And Philippines being an archipelago, it is a country made up of more than 7,000 islands. So they need small planes, and there are a lot of flying schools there. And one school was only half an hour's drive from my hostel. And there is an international airport there also, Clark International Airport. So I thought that it's a great opportunity to learn flying. And it's a very interesting thing because they teach you a lot of subjects, and radio communication and navigation and things like that. So it was quite interesting.
And you got your license there?
Yes, I got a private pilot
license. Okay.
For Cessna 152.
So that you continue doing now also, the flying part?
No, I didn't, because after coming back to India and started practicing, I realized that it's a polluting activity. Yeah. So then I lost interest.
Okay. So it is when you completed your medicine and when you got your degree, how was that then? And you got into actual practicing
Yes.
of medicine. So how was that journey?
So after coming back, my degree being a foreign degree, I had to appear for the National Board of Examination screening test. So after coming back, after 2 months, I had to appear for that. Then I had to do 1 year's internship here, residential internship. So I did it in Ruby Hall Hospital. And there I met Dr. Prachi Sate, who is in charge of the ICU. And she was an old friend and she had heard about me doing MBBS at that age. So she called me and said that, what are you planning to do afterwards? So I said, I'm interested in research. I am not going for any specialization or anything. It's just out of curiosity. And I am able to understand medical science now. So research would be a thing for me. So then she said that because of the clinical engagement, she is not able to do a lot of research. So if you could join me, we can do something, she said. So then I joined her as a clinical assistant as well as a research associate in Ruby Hall.
Okay. And what was the subject of this research?
We collected data from the ICU, so critical care.
Yeah.
And quality control in critical care. So there are some scores which tell you the probability of people's survival in the critical care unit. So we did 2 papers on that, and we collected data for almost about 2,000 patients.
Okay.
Because it's a busy ICU.
Yeah.
It was very interesting, and I got a lot of insights from those studies.
And this stint actually opened something different for you, and that was related to data and as well as with
Data
all your
analytics, yes.
knowledge about medicine, about data, everything you could converge into that. So
Yes.
what was that?
Actually, one thing led to another. It's like when I was writing papers, the data analysis was quite difficult, and I consulted Dr. Pant for that analysis, and he runs a data science company called Algo Analytics, and we did those papers. He helped me out, and in that process he realized that I know programming as well as medical science as well as statistics, a little bit of that. So he said that actually we are also looking to work in the healthcare sector and we need a domain expert. So I don't know any other person who knows computers and statistics as well as medical science. So if you join us, then we can do something together. So in 2017, I joined them as a domain expert.
And that you still continue doing or no? Not.
No, in 23, I had my grandson, so I resigned from there.
Okay. The new phase.
Yes.
So you're also involved in one more activity, which is about alignment between doctors and patients, and
Yes.
that is also your subject of interest. So can you just tell us about that?
Actually, when I started working in the hospital, one thing that started troubling me was the distrust between the doctors and the patients. Patients and the relatives find it difficult to trust the hospital. They feel that they are getting exploited, which is in a way true also in many cases. At the same time, doctors feel threatened because patients' relatives attack them, sue them, and they are being exploited by the corporates as well. So both are suffering in the process, and there is a distrust. So a group of doctor friends came together and we decided that we'll bring the citizens and the doctors on the same platform and start communication, start understanding each other's problems, and maybe we can find some solutions. So we conducted a number of programs, and the conclusion of that was that to solve this problem we need a systemic solution. Superficial makeup is not going to solve these problems. So we need a systemic solution, a holistic policy which will take care of everything. But unfortunately, now India has adopted an insurance-based model, which, according to me, is not going to work well for the ordinary people.
Something similar to maybe the Western countries
Western
will start.
meaning America,
America.
USA.
That system is really.
Even in America, it is failing.
Yeah.
So we are a poor country. It's
Yes.
not going to work here, but that's the way things are right now.
So it is in a way it is over commercialization of
Exactly.
the problem. And that,
And so everyone gets exploited in the process.
that-
What we need to do is we need to strengthen our public health sector. We need to focus on prevention because we are so many people.
yeah.
But we are trying to go insurance way and trying to facilitate bypass surgeries and high-end surgeries. Rather than that, we should see that people don't reach that stage.
So health or not getting the disease.
Yes.
That should be the focus area.
So we need to strengthen our public health system.
So with this association, was there any effort to educate people about
Actually,
it?
there have been enormous efforts in that regard. And 2012, actually, the high expert committee has given a report, and it is listed on the what do you call now Niti Aayog website. Also, they have given their recommendation about how the health system should be designed
Okay.
in India to make it work.
But I think there is hardly any awareness about
It is not, and the political will is not there to change
Yeah.
policy and to see the larger good, you know.
But with now so many social platforms available with the social media, is there any effort to create awareness?
We try to create awareness, and unless the citizens start demanding it, it's not going to happen.
Yes, yes.
In the UK, one of the major focuses in election is healthcare. Unless you start demanding from the government that we need this to be our priority,
Yeah.
it's not going to happen. It's up to us citizens what we want.
Yeah. You have one more interest area, and I think the list is unending. List seems to be unending. But recently you have developed interest in agriculture and sustainable farming, and also plantations, overall forestation activities, and you spend a lot of time today on that. So can you tell us about it?
That also happened when I started practicing. Another thing that started disturbing me was the malnutrition in younger generation. So I started thinking about it, that they have enough money, they have enough food, but why is there so much malnutrition? Why are there so many deficiencies? So then I started thinking and reading about it, and I realized that it has to do with how the food is produced. And our interaction with the environment is also extremely important in our health. You can't say that we have a very polluted environment and we are healthy. It can't be like that. In Delhi, because of the pollution, the rise in lung cancer cases has shot up now. And that's a discussion amongst the doctors. But no one is doing anything about it. And we are focusing on the treatment of cancer. So we are on the wrong path altogether.
So prevention is something which we should be focusing on.
And we must care for the environment, because we are a part of that ecosystem, and unless the environment is healthy, we cannot be healthy. That's the bottom line. So one of the ways of doing that is regenerative farming, respecting nature in farming. But we can't expect our farmers who are dependent on farming for their livelihood to experiment with these things. So I thought that I would try to experiment.
Okay.
So that's how I got involved in farming.
Agriculture. Okay. So what was the experience like? Means how difficult was it? Because from the outside it looks very simple,
Attractive.
sometimes, and very attractive. And I have heard so many people around maybe discussing that we should get into agriculture as an activity, but it's not as simple and as easy.
Yes, because
So
in
how was
urban
the-
areas we are far removed from everything, the reality of rural life. It's quite difficult in rural areas. The facilities are not there, electricity goes on and off, and things don't get done fast. And nature takes its own sweet time. We can't hurry up nature, so we have to be patient in our doing. So it's an ongoing process. I'm learning from it, and things are getting better day by day. After maybe a few years, I'll be able to talk about it.
Yeah, it's a one more learning, I think, one more learning process for you. In all this journey, what is it that keeps you going, Miss? What do you draw your inspiration from?
Curiosity is my driving force, absolutely. And one thing led to another, because the thinking process and the learning process goes on, and one thing leads to another. So curiosity is what keeps me going. And I think life is a learning process.
Yeah.
So
Yes. And in our earlier conversation, you mentioned something very interesting about competition and collaboration, and that was drawing from your medical experience.
Yes.
So can you tell us about that?
Since I was quite a mature person when I started studying medicine, I had a different outlook. So when I started studying anatomy and physiology and medical subjects, I started drawing parallels between what goes on inside our body and what goes outside. Outside is the huge universe, and there is a big universe inside our bodies also, in the sense that our bodies are made up of trillions of cells, and they all work in harmony, and they do the functions with integrity, whatever is assigned to them. They don't fight or compete with each other, but they communicate, collaborate, and cooperate. And that's how we become a healthy human being. And when that harmony is disturbed, then the disease occurs. For example, when your own cells start attacking your other cells, we get what we call an autoimmune disease, which is on the rise in our population now. So the examples of autoimmune disease is rheumatoid arthritis or multiple sclerosis. So just like that, in our society, when most of the sections of our society are doing their work properly, our society is functional. But if one section of the society starts attacking other, then it becomes a dysfunctional society. Similarly, there is a life cycle for cell. As we have a life cycle of our own, every single individual cell in our body has a life cycle of growth, of getting nutrients, of doing the function, and then death as well. And there are very complex mechanisms of controlling the proliferation of cells and the cell deaths. When there is an error in that controlling mechanism, one set of cells starts proliferating uncontrollably, and that's when a tumor is formed. And when that tumor has an ability to invade other areas of our body, it's called cancer. So I was starting to think that maybe human race is a cancer of the planet. We are increasing in numbers, just like cancer cells. We are using all the energy, and we are causing death of the rest of the planet. So that's how interesting the subjects were for me, I can say.
Yeah. So in a way, the way the development, so-called development, is happening, and that is across the globe. That is not specific to any country. The way it is happening, and it is completely out of control. Absolutely no harmony with anything which is nature or natural resources or anything. So it's very difficult to sustain in that way.
Exactly.
So we keep on talking about sustainability, but if human race cannot be controlled to that extent, it is going to be very difficult.
I actually, the other day I asked ChatGPT, what is the solution? And it gave me the solution. It gave me a policy for the world
Is it?
based on circular economy. And it said
very
that all the countries have to come together to bring this about. So there are solutions. What we need is leaders and political will and demand from the citizens that we want this.
Our country, don't you think is really too far away in terms of politics? It is too far away from any such thought process.
Actually, I thought that it was an advantage because we can easily, try to avoid the mistakes that the Western world committed. We can learn from their mistakes and we can avoid them, and we can jump a step in evolution. It's possible, but then again it comes down to people's will to do it.
Yes, absolutely. There are two different things which I want to ask you about. One is we have a lot of young girls in our teams. So and they are looking forward to developing maybe their careers or developing even getting into family and all that. So what would be your advice? I'll not use the word advice, but what will be your guidance to them in terms of developing further?
A few decades ago, getting information and getting knowledge was a very time consuming and a laborious process. Then the internet came and the information is available to everyone at a touch of a finger. And then we had to get knowledge to organize information and use it to solve problems or understand complex concepts. But now with the advent of artificial intelligence, even knowledge is going to be easily accessible to everyone. So what do we need now is wisdom. And how do we get wisdom? What is wisdom? Wisdom is the ability to know where and how to use the knowledge that is available. It involves empathy, it involves the ability to see beyond immediate consequences, and it involves, now we have available the collective intellect is available to all of us. So we need to have a balance between that intellect and compassion, and to act in ways that will promote one's own well-being as well as well-being of others. So how do we get wisdom?
Yeah.
Where does it come from? That's a difficult question, but it comes from varied experiences. It comes from reflection. It comes from widening our horizons with exposing ourselves to different perspectives, and by cultivating self-awareness. What does that mean? It means that you have to look inward and understand what exactly you want. What brings you pleasure? What brings you sadness? You can look at someone else's picture of traveling to exotic places and think that enjoyment means traveling. But it may not bring enjoyment to everyone. Everyone has a different definition of enjoyment. So we need to think to ourselves whether that is really bringing me enjoyment, or am I doing it to show off on social media. So knowing oneself, understanding our own priorities and responsibilities. And I think my motto has been that life is about experiencing rather than achievements or failures. If you have that outlook, then it is easier to handle failures as well as achievements and learn from them. And it doesn't stress you out because it's just an experience, even if you fail. So you can learn from that and go on. So I wish you all the luck for exploration.
That's great. I think that is very important because what happens typically is when we are planning, maybe planning how to spend our time or how to develop our career, we tend to sometimes get into the same kind of work, same kind of experiences, same even leisure activities, or like she mentioned about traveling or whatever. We tend to get into the similar
Groove.
or same activities.
People's
again and
choices,
again.
they influence us all the time. There is nothing wrong with it, but ultimately it will not give you pleasure if you don't ask yourself whether it is really making me happy, and then it will bring frustrations
Yes.
over the years.
Definitely. And just another aspect of this is that is about young girls. Not that it is not applicable to everyone else. It is applicable to, of course, everyone sitting here. But about little middle-aged colleagues maybe who are trying to balance it between family, kids, career, and other aspirations. What would be your guidance to them?
I think you are a better person to guide them in that. You're running a big company. But I think there is no need to be a superwoman. Superwoman is a myth. We are all super. But what makes us super is understanding our own weaknesses and strengths. We are bound to make mistakes. Let's accept it. Let's forgive ourselves for making mistakes and learn from them and go ahead. That's what makes us super. And women are really good at multitasking, but still there is a limitation of how much you can do. So if you focus on a few things, the other few things are going to suffer or get neglected. There is nothing to feel guilty about it. We are just humans. So excuse yourself and excuse others who judge you because they don't understand your situation, your limitations and your strengths. So there's no point in getting angry because people judge you. As long as you know your priorities and responsibilities, you can ignore the people who judge you and enjoy the journey rather than waiting for the destination, some distant destination.
Oh, wonderful. That is so true, and that is true for every one of us. I think all my questions are done. If there are any one or two quick questions from any one of you, and please ask something to her because this is very inspiring journey which we have heard about right now. So if there is any question you can think of, and young girls sitting there. Or anyone actually, not that only young girls. Any questions if you have, quickly. Shweta, 1 minute. Just 1 minute. We'll pass on the mic.
Hi ma'am, I'm Shweta. Your journey is very inspiring and motivating. I just want to know, being a mother myself, like when you were there out for in Philippines, who was taking care of your baby?
My son was not a baby when I went to Philippines. He was in 8th standard.
Okay. No,
So-
one more thing, ma'am. When you started pursuing your medical journey, without a doubt, most of the time you have to dedicate first education.
Yes.
Right? So how you were managing? Like now, my daughter is most of the time is in daycare. So you
Correct.
were having any support back there?
Actually, he was in 5th standard. So during the day, he used to be in school. So, and in the evenings were free for me also. So I used to take him for swimming, and I started reading there. In my medical books, I used to carry there. So he used to swim and I used to read.
Madam, there was no compromise on that child, right?
Not really. Some compromises might have happened. If I were free, it would have been different maybe, but I don't know. I don't think, I think he has been benefited by my journey, by my experience, by my not being there for him. Also, it has helped him.
So, and ma'am's son is now he's a successful entrepreneur and he started his own business in a very demanding area of manufacturing special purpose machines.
Yes, so he.
So he turned up great.
Actually, I'm the liberal parent. So if I were here in his 10th boards, probably he would have gotten less marks.
Even I am very much ambitious, and even I want to do a lot of things. But what happened when I come out of the house, I have, a back of the mind, the thing goes on, oh, my daughter is there in the daycare, or how she's managing it, because she's quite young. So
Yeah,
just wanted to know
when they are
how
very
you
young,
manage
I think mother is attached, and it's the right natural thing to happen, because we need to care for them. But slowly we should focus on not making them rely on us. We should focus on making them independent, making them do things and have their own lives. We can't be living their lives. We have our lives to live. So
Thank you, ma'am.
Anyone else? Any other question? Okay. So I want to thank you once again.
Thank you so much for having me.
Because
here.
this was a wonderful experience, wonderful conversation, and I think all of us, including me, we enjoyed it a lot. I think the theme which we have today is I am unstoppable, right? And her journey shows us that really there is nothing which can hold you back if you decide to achieve something. And she has had so many problems, so many obstacles, so many challenges, but she decided, no, I want to do it, and she's done it. And so many different things, right? From means in her young days also, she was having her own business. From there to becoming a doctor, to a pilot, and now I'll call you environmentalist.
Yes.
Till that. So it's a very inspiring journey. I think what matters here is she's exploring, and she's as she mentioned, she's very, very curious person, and that definitely helps. Curiosity is something which we should never let go, and that we have seen from SRP sir also, right? Because he used to mention that he was a student till his maybe last day. He was learning till his last day, and that is something which is there in the DNA for us also, to experiment, to keep on learning about new things, and that is what keeps us alive as an organization also, and as a human being also. So thanks a lot for being with us and sharing your journey with us. It is very inspiring, and we will also try to be as curious as you. not possible, but as much as possible, and we will try to learn from various experiences like she did. Okay.
Thank you, ma'ams. It was very inspiring session, and I'm sure each one of us will carry a lot of learning from here. I request each one of you to give a big round of applause.